Hello, I'm Chris Berrow with the BBC News. Britain's new king, Charles III, has given his first address to the nation since the death on Thursday of Queen Elizabeth. As well as speaking of his profound sorrow at the loss of his mother, he renewed her pledge of a lifetime of service. Helena Wilkinson reports.
It was an emotional and personal speech about a family in mourning and the duty that lies ahead. A new role for the king, one which, in his address, he dedicated himself to.
Wherever you may live in the United Kingdom, or in the realms and territories across the world, and whatever may be your background or beliefs, I shall endeavour to serve you with loyalty, respect, and love.
He also used his address to express hope that despite the sorrow felt around the nation and Commonwealth, people would remember and draw strength from the light of his mother's example.
The address was broadcast on national television as well as to a congregation attending a service of prayer for the late Queen in St Paul's Cathedral in London. Earlier, the new king returned to the capital from Scotland, where his mother died. Large crowds welcomed him outside Buckingham Palace. Our correspondent, Mark Easton, was there.
It was a very deliberate statement. In his first public act as king, Charles ordered his car to stop outside the gates of Buckingham Palace, on the public side of the black railings, and went to greet his people alone. Working a crowd is second nature to Charles, but this was a monarch demonstrating that he intends to be approachable. He shook hundreds of hands, chatting and smiling.
King Charles has held his first audience with Britain's new Prime Minister Liz Truss, and Parliament has been holding a special session of condolence. Among those from overseas who've paid tribute to the Queen is Henri, the Grand Duke of Luxembourg.
I had the opportunity with my wife, the Grand Duchess, to visit her on many occasions, and each time it was a wonderful encounter. And I think she was a kind of figurehead, being the most senior member of all the royal families in Europe and in the world, indeed. And we admired her a lot.
Football fans in Britain say an opportunity to pay tribute to the Queen has been lost with the cancellation of all matches over the weekend. The Football Supporters Association said the sport could have brought people together and let them pay their respects alongside fellow fans. Boxing, rugby union and horse racing also postponed events. There was no play in today's cricket test match between England and South Africa. This is the latest world news from the BBC. In other news, President Zelensky says Ukrainian forces have now taken back 30 settlements from Russian troops in the northeastern region of Kharkiv. Russian state media has shown reinforcements being sent to the area. Earlier, a Russian-backed official in the region admitted that Kiev had achieved a significant victory this week. Vitaly Ganchev said there were fierce battles near the town of Balaklia. The head of the UN nuclear agency, Rafael Grossi, has warned the situation at Ukraine's Russian-held Zaporizhzhia plant is increasingly precarious, with shelling making it unlikely that power could be restored. The IAEA chief said the energy infrastructure feeding the nearby city of Enerhodar had been destroyed. A rebel attack in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo has left at least 15 people dead. The raids near the town of Djougou is the latest in a series of attacks in Ituri province. Some residents have blamed a militia group made up largely of members from the Lendu ethnic group. Colombia and Venezuela say they will reopen their border for cargo transport and flights later this month after years of tensions over political and ideological differences. Colombia's new left-wing president, Gustavo Petro, said the move marked a step towards normalizing relations. Here's Leonardo Rocha.
The two countries share a long, porous border, and more than 2 million Venezuelans now live in Colombia, having fled a serious economic crisis at home. Relations deteriorated during the government of Mr. Petro's predecessor, Ivan Duque, a conservative politician who accused Venezuela's left-wing leaders of harboring rebels and criminals. The border was closed in 2019 when Colombia tried to deliver a cross-border aid convoy in coordination with the Venezuelan opposition leader Juan Guaidó. President Nicolás Maduro described it as a publicity stunt and a coup attempt.
BBC News.